This video, I'm going to be sharing with you a higher vibrational manifestation process that I think can completely transform your life. If you follow these 3 steps, it changes everything. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 things that if you do make the process so much easier, and it really allows you to create from a higher paradigm. Now normally, the stereotypical way that we may look at what we call the law of attraction is that this is where I am, that's where I want to be, and I need to do things in order to get over there. But you see, this is what happens a lot of times, is in the moment of wanting to be somewhere other than where we are, we create resistance, and that resistance manifests with blocks, things not happening in the right way, and therefore we don't actually get what we want in the most efficient way up until now, because now we're going to bring in this awareness of understanding vibration, which is something that quantum physics is showing us, that everything is vibration, that there are certain states of being that when we get into, we feel better, and therefore in that feeling better, we're able to perceive of things that we want in a much easier way, and our energy is much more aligned with the action that we do take. So this has been the biggest con when it comes to, the biggest blocks I'd say when it comes to people getting what they want, is understanding this idea. When we grow up, we are conditioned that what we do is we must react to our environment, and that we must, in a way, wait for something on the external to feel a certain way. And because of that, we go our whole life thinking that if we do certain things, it will make us happy. And that at the end of that road is the happiness. And what happens is then we train ourselves in the present moment that we can't be happy now unless something on the external happens. So what we do is we spend virtually our whole entire lives trying to get somewhere else other than we're not, and by the time we get there, we're disappointed to find that because we've trained ourselves out of happiness and out of feeling and giving ourselves permission to feel a certain way in the present moment, that by the time we get there, we don't feel that way anyways. And we've seen this many times with people that intend and do everything they can to become wealthy, maybe multimillionaire, maybe even billionaire status, and then they find out that they're not happy because they realize it doesn't, and it's not what they thought it would be. So what I'm going to intend to do today is to help you, give you 3 ways that you can enjoy the present moment more, and paradoxically enough, guess what? You're going to enjoy the process a lot more, and guess what else? Not only going to enjoy the process more, but things are going to happen better for you anyways. This is a paradox, because as you become better and feel better in the present moment, things begin to happen in a much easier way, because in a certain way, the external is a reflection of the internal. So, the first step to this process is treating everything in your life as if you chose it. So many times I'll hear people, they'll come to me at a seminar recently, and inside the questions you can hear that a lot of times that if people ask questions, and you can hear that what they're saying is that they have to do certain things, that they're kind of forced to do things, and because they're forced to do things, they want to know how they can get out of it. But if we view it as that we're forced to do things, or if we view things as if it's the way it has to be, what we do is we box ourselves in and we say that this is the way things are supposed to be and there's nothing I can do about it. Here's the thing. If we treat everything in our life as if we chose it, we immediately start to feel better, because then we realize that we're not victims and that there's something we can choose as an alternative. So it comes with this awareness that there's actually more choices than whatever we're currently experiencing. And the moment we start to really embrace this understanding and we start to treat everything as if we chose it, guess what? We release resistance. This is the key, is the releasing of the resistance. And we cannot change what we do not own. So therefore, if we're like, oh, I have to go to a job I don't enjoy, well, guess what? We're going to create resistance there. But instead, if you were to acknowledge that maybe it's not the perfect job that you love, but you say to yourself, I choose to go to my job, guess what? You're going to feel much better about it, which is going to increase your state of being, which is going to make it more likely that you find a job that you do prefer, which is going to put you in the right energy state so that you meet people that maybe know of another job that you could become a part of. Or maybe they offer you a job. Or maybe you just synchronistically, because your energy state is higher, you perceive of things that you could be even more passionate about. So you see, this works in so many different ways, because then we become aware of the other opportunities and we start to really just take our power back, because when we start to realize that we can choose what we want, we see more options, our state of being increases, and then we're much more likely to experience what we want in our life. This has been a game changer for me. I remember years ago, not even maybe even just a year ago, when I had a job I didn't really enjoy. I was like, I want to do YouTube full time. I was doing daily videos. I was working full time. I was very busy. And I realized that anytime I went into work, I didn't really want to be there, because, you know, eventually that led me to understanding that I could just quit and do YouTube full time, because it grew to a point to where I could do that. But up until that point, I would feel resistance at the job, because if I was standing around, you know, I worked a sales commission job. I worked at Barney's New York in women's shoes. And if it were dead, meaning there weren't that many customers, I'm thinking to myself, man, I could be doing this with the video, I could be doing this, and it would kind of like, in that moment, I'd feel resistance because I'm thinking of everything that I could do that I wasn't currently doing. But here's what I did, is in the present moment, I accepted it as if I chose it, because in a way, I did choose to go to work that day. And I really could have just let that job go much earlier than I did, but I wasn't really aware of it. I was more so focused on thinking I had to be really, really safe, and, you know, I could have done it probably 2-3 months before I did. But nonetheless, I treated, as I went into work, as if I chose it. It released resistance, increased my state of being, and I was able to actually enjoy the process, enjoy my last couple months there, because I knew it was only a matter of time before I just quit and left. And since then, it's all good. I don't have to go there anymore. Not only that, I get to do what I absolutely love, and I treat everything in my life as if I chose it. Because of that, there's no victimization, there's no externalization of power, and there's much less resistance, because I'm able to catch it quicker than ever. So, that's one of the most powerful things you can do, is simply start, because it helps release the resistance of what you're currently feeling. You may say, well, guess what? I hate the job I have. That's cool. But treat that job that you have as if you chose it, and you won't hate it as much. It's not lying to yourself. It's not telling yourself something that's not true. It's just saying, it's true. You chose to go into work. You may say, well, I have bills. Well, you still chose to go into work. There's still other options. And if you simply acknowledge that, you're going to feel better about the process, which then, paradoxically enough, will make you find something better quicker anyways. Now, the second step you can do in order to really raise your elevate your vibrational set point of how you feel, has to do with a simple idea, one that I've shared many times, and that is following the feeling of excitement. This sounds so cliche, sounds like a cat poster, right? It's like, just follow your excitement, go for your dreams. Here's the thing. The feeling of excitement is your natural core frequency. And one of the ways you can tap into this is by simply asking yourself more questions that have to do with your passion. So you could say, hey, what am I passionate about? What does my heart connect to? What do I do that I feel like time goes by very quickly? What puts me into a flow state? Ask yourself these questions, because as you ask yourself these questions, your brain and your heart will start to connect to the answer. That's where amazing things happen. It isn't just the head. It's not just, oh, I'm going to create this in my life. It's the connection of the heart as well. And the way you connect to that is through passion. It's through feeling. And when you start to simply follow your excitement, you create a ripple of energy. You create a much more dynamic flow in the direction of what you want. You see, when we create from our head, we create something called polarization. A dualism. We could think of this as a dualistic type manifestation. Reason being, we have a left side of the brain and a right side of the brain. One has a certain focus, the other one has a different focus. One's logical, one's more creative. When we think about it in this terms, because then we could say, oh, hey, dualistic type nature, there's light, there's dark. There's left, there's right. There's good, there's bad. When we have that kind of perspective, guess what? We create polarization. We say, I really, really want this. We create the opposites. We create that dual type nature. However, when we create from our heart, when we create from passion, We create from a singular point of focus because our heart is one. And they showed that the electromagnetic energy of the heart is thousands of times more powerful than that of the head. So, if you start to more so connect to your heart, you start to ask yourself the question, what am I excited about? You're going to start to create a much more powerful energy in the direction of what you want. In that moment, you will also let go of that resistance, because as you're focused on passion, it literally lets go of all the lower emotions that don't even serve you anymore. So this is more so a question of how can you embody your excitement more and more every day. Now this can start off small. Here's a little tip for you guys. Here's something that can work out very powerful. This is a formula. It's a formula that I heard from Bashar, I believe. And the formula is very simple. What it is in every moment, there's certain choices you can make about what you want to do. If you choose the most exciting one that you could do in that moment, you do that as long as you can do it until something else that's even more exciting comes along, or equally as exciting. Once that starts to wear out, and you just keep doing that, you will start to be in an energy state that brings more and more of those good things to you. Now this can start off small. This doesn't have to be, what am I most excited in this moment to do for the rest of my life? Like, is it being a lawyer? Is it being an accountant? Is it making art? In the moment though, you can say, you know what? I feel like going for a walk. Hey, I feel like spending time with my dog. You know, I'm gonna go eat something right now. I'm gonna go call up this person. And then when that's done, you say, okay, now what do I want to do? So you start to realize this in a certain type of order, and guess what? You're gonna start to find more and more ways that you can go about this in a very powerful way. And you're gonna start a ripple of energy that just completely transforms everything about your life. So this is that awareness that following your excitement is the core frequency of who you chose to be in life. And when you follow that, you're following and aligning with your actual soul. And doing that, guess what? Gets much better results than that of the head. That's saying, oh, I want the money, I want this, I want that, which creates polarization and a dualistic type manifestation. Connect more to your heart and follow your excitement. Now the third one is something that makes everything easier. It's something you can apply in your daily life. It's something that I honestly realized when I was in sales, because this works like magic. Higher vibrational manifestation can also include simply having more fun. Loosen up about everything. There's so many people that come to me and they're like, how do I manifest this? How do I manifest that? Guess what? Just start to have fun with the process. Enjoy the process and develop more humor about it. Develop a more fun type attitude, because at a certain point, almost everything in life can be seen from a humorous point of view. And that was something that I realized with selling, right? Because as I'm selling to people, it was cool because where I used to work, I could see a direct reflection of my mentality going into work every day to what I'm experiencing, because it was purely commission job. And if I went in one day and I was feeling a certain way and, you know, kind of had a certain mentality, I'd get a certain result. But if I went in a different day and had a different mentality, I'd see a different result. So this is what I learned. The best thing you can do is just to elevate your state of being. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to simply have fun, to see things as fun. If something bad happens to you, see it from a positive, funny point of view. Maybe make it into a little cartoon in your head. Laugh about it and move on. Guess what? That no longer brings you down. You start to feel like you're in a better state of being. If I had a customer, right, that was called walked me, which means they didn't buy anything. They just wanted, I went, got them stuff. They didn't want anything. They wasted my time. They wasted my time from a certain perspective. But from a different perspective, I could have saw that I chose that from a certain way, because then I could learn something from that and then take action from a different way. And then that resistance would go away. But what I would do is I just kind of laugh about it. Not laugh at the person like I'm demeaning them or anything. I would laugh at the situation and I would see something funny about it. And then what I would do is I would go on to the next customer, and guess what? I didn't carry all that negative emotion with me to the next customer, which would have, if I did bring in that negative energy, would have caused more of that same thing. Which is why sometimes in that sales commission job, you'd see some people that would help like 8 people in a row that all walked them, because they couldn't get out of the first person that walked them. They carry that energy from person to person. And subconsciously, people feel that. It retracts them and they don't want to buy anything. But one of the biggest things I've learned in sales is that if you elevate someone's emotions, you get them into a buying state. So my focus then became, how can I sell this to you? How can you buy this from me? It was more so, how can I elevate your state of being, have fun with you, and then watch how that changes everything. So I have a very sarcastic personality, very blunt, and I'm very kind of edgy. So I would say things, I would use examples and just kind of like poke fun at them. and whatever they were doing. And guess what? That elevated my own state of being. They felt that off of me. They thought it was funny as well. And guess what? Elevated state of being, everything worked out even better. You can use this in any area of your life too. Start to have fun. If something misfortunate happens, see it from a funny point of view. Loosen it up. That immediately makes you lose resistance and it elevates your vibrational set point. And guess what? Then you create from a much more powerful point of view. And speaking of vibrational set point, if you want a powerful meditation that will help you to raise your vibrational set point, I've created one. That's an MP3 that you can listen to. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days. It can totally transform your vibrational set point so that you create from a much more powerful point of view. It's something that's absolutely free. It's in the top of the description box below, and it will help you to do that. So remember, as you more so connect to what you are passionate about, connect to your heart, at the same time, follow the excitement in every moment that you can. Treat everything in your life as if you chose it. You'll start to release resistance. You'll start to create from a much more powerful point of view. And as you do that, you can also, at the same time, start to realize that you are powerful. Connect to this. Have humor about it. Let go of the resistance and simply decide that today you're going to have fun. You're going to elevate your state of being and things are going to happen easier than ever. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next vid. Peace, much love, and namaste.